Hello there, this is Retro's Spirits Gaiden presenting Capcom Generation 1. This is on the Sega Saturn, and this is the Sega Saturn dashboard as we fly through space with our green cubes hovering in our headphones. Don't know, Sega is on board with this, and we have Capcom's Crazy Cube intro cut short. This is the Capcom Generation 1 title screen, and we're going to select a game. This particular compilation doesn't play well with the old FrameMeister and capture device combo, but so we'll cut out some of the loading. What we're going to play here is 1942, and we have screen mode, so that suggests we do have a horizontally oriented screen for those who want to rotate their monitors, and here we go. This is a very old but actually pretty good shooter. It's got a manic referee blowing a whistle at you all the way through the game, and it sounds like it only comes in one note as well, which is fine. You have some power-ups in this game. By picking up the power, you can make your main weapon wider. You can also pick up a couple of planes that kind of sit in formation with you. And this is basically what you get from the whole game, what you're looking at here. You can press the shoulder button on the Saturn pad to have rapid fire, which makes proceedings slightly easier. But as you can see, it's fairly bare bones. But it is actually, despite the fact the music is infuriating, well, it's not really music, it's a whistle, and the graphics are sort of, I suppose you'd call them shit. They're not bad, actually, they're not shit, they're fine. It's actually a pretty addictive game. It's challenging. Getting the power-ups and keeping them is a challenge. These big planes always come in from the back of the screen and ram you. If being rammed from behind by a large aircraft doesn't appeal to you, don't play this game. You've got 3 R's down in the corner there, and you don't have smart bombs or anything that clears the screen of enemies. You have an R, and when you press the button you do a loop-de-loop, and that gets you out of bullet trouble. So we've got 31 stages left. Unusually the game tells you how many stages there are left before you loop the thing. Got 88 on the aircraft carrier. That's weird. Capcom made a game called Area 88 a lot later than this, didn't they? So the palette has changed on the aircraft here. Different coloured aircraft have different behaviours. The green ones kind of scoot around. These grey ones look like they just come down the screen and sort of dodge left and right. The red ones fly in formation, and the large green one just kind of flies up the screen. I played this back in the day in the arcade, and I did used to enjoy it back then, sort of mid-80s, and yeah, even though visually and sonically it is a bit... what's the nicest way of saying this? Basic. I still enjoy playing it. I'm not good at it, as you can see. The actual game itself is alright though. I'm a bit out of practice, I haven't played it for a while. So it's exactly as I remember it. It's arcade perfection, I guess. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything else but that from a 32-bit console emulating an 8-bit game. The powers are a bit inconsistent. The most useful one is the aircraft that attach onto the side of yours, because they absorb a hit for you. So where that green aircraft just flew straight into me, if I had an sort of a wingman, that wouldn't have killed me. But hey, woulda, shoulda, coulda, didn't, etc. The water's nicely animated, isn't it? Being as it is completely static. No panic scrolling of any sort whatsoever, but you do get some text. Look, that's very exciting. There's another tune here. So the tune in the game is infuriating. Like I said, you're being whistled at by a referee, but there is like when game over, you get like a proper tune. So I don't know what happened there. Anyway, that's 1942. The Capcom Generations 1 disc has 1942, 1943, and 1943 Kai. And what the differences between 1943 and 1943 Kai are, I don't know, apart from the main sprite is different, and some of the bosses are different, and the coloration on some of the stages is different, but it appears to be more or less the same game, with the same rules. So, there we go. 1943 is actually another kind of fun game. I never played this in the arcade. I only ever played this on the, back in the day this is, Amstrad CPC. And that version probably ran at 2 frames a second, and it was still kind of enjoyable. And it was probably monochrome as well, being a Spectrum, one of those Spectrum ports that I used to lazily bash out back in the day. And you get the same aircraft to control. You've got a 4-way shot option here. So they ramped it up for 1943. They ramped up the weapons. You can get shotguns, and you can get maybe not in this one, but you can get like a bomb thing, sort of like a missile thing. But you have to keep collecting the power symbols to collect fuel, because you've got a fuel bar at the bottom of the screen, and if that runs out to 0, you blow up, and that's game over. So you don't have lives, you have a fuel bar. Every hit takes fuel from your fuel bar, but you can get it back by getting the power. So it's your choice whether you pick up a power or you shoot the power enough to change it into a weapon. It's quite a bit like sidearms, the power-up system, so it's a bit infuriating. You do get some powers which appear which just remain static, they can't be changed, but in general most of the power-ups start off as powers, and then you shoot them and they change into a different weapon. Like there's the shotgun. I don't know what special properties the shotgun has. I'm assuming it's the same as sidearms, where it blocks enemy bullets, but I don't know that for sure. When you pick up your weapons, they run out on a timer, so it's not the amount of bullets you fire, because you can stop firing completely, and the timer will still run down, and you'll lose your weapon. You still got the barrel rolls in here. They've only got 2 this time rather than 3. But this is a fun game. I had fun with this game on this compilation. I do enjoy this game, and I like 1943 Kai. But like I said, it's difficult to know what difference it is. But the graphics have been upped. You've got cutscenes. You've got musical soundtrack this time rather than a obnoxious whistle. And you get to shoot evil aircraft from the sky. And you get bosses in this game. You get larger, screen-sized aircraft. This is another game that fits kind of okay vertically. I think the resolution of the arcade machine does allow for a full screen horizontal orientation. I don't think there's anything cut off the top and bottom of this. So I don't know what the benefit of playing it horizontally would be. Maybe it's crushed slightly, I don't know. It doesn't appear that... I mean, there's a little bit of pixel crawl, but I'm looking at a small image of it at the moment. Here's the auto bomb thing. Yeah, looks so good. You got jet fighters there. Super exciting. These aircraft that come out of the cloud layer are quite cool. You got some parallax scrolling. Yeah, it's generally quite nice. I do like this game. The plane's got a bit more animation on it. The big plane kind of does like a lefty-righty thing. Look, beautiful. Tons more sprites. It's a bit less demanding. There's no one-hit kills unless you run out of fuel, and yeah, it's generally quite nice. Capcom Generation 1 is on the Saturn. Is a fairly expensive game. It's around 40 quid. You can get it on the PlayStation and PlayStation 2, I believe. Get it on the PAL PlayStation as part of the Capcom collection. It might even be on the old Capcom collection, the old Xbox. Can't remember. It's been so long since I played it. That definitely had Final Fight, so that's worth picking up. The original Xbox, I'm talking a massive black brick. And yeah, the second one of those, the Capcom Generation 2, never came out in the UK. I believe that's region free, if you want to pick up the US version of that. That's got Strider on it, so well worth the effort. And Forgotten Worlds is on the Capcom Generation 1. Or Capcom Classics, whatever it was called back on the original Xbox. Anyway, I digress. This is a nice little compilation. 40 quid is not too much money for a Saturn game at the moment, but it's probably too much money to spend on these 3 games, to be fair. You probably won't get 40 quid's worth of fun out of it. Well, in a world where layer section exists, and layer section costs less than 40 quid, if I was going to buy a Saturn shoot 'em up, I'd buy layer section first, I think. And then I've had some spare money left over. I might give this a go. But there's loads of shoot 'em ups on the Saturn. You don't have to put up with this 8-bit nonsense on your powerhouse 32-bit console. Get something with some scaling in it. Get something with some orchestration in it, hey? Use your money wisely. There's all these games are these Capcom 1942 style games. Do have a love of sending on planes from behind you where you've got no chance of shooting them. And unless you learn all the levels, no chance of knowing when they're going to come on, because it doesn't tell you. So you end up getting hit quite a lot from behind, which is bloody annoying. It's a bit weird, that plane, when it dunks itself. You shoot it and then it dunks itself in the cloud, like to get out of the way. This is odd. I do quite like the effect of it flying below you and then coming up. That's kind of cool. Done in a really old school way. It doesn't scale, it's just like the drawn multiple sprites. Well done them. As you can see, this game is a bit easier than 1942 just because you've got the energy bar and you can keep topping up the energy bar. Ooh, there's a boss. Large airplane. Japanese airplane, as it happens. So I guess you're an American aircraft shooting a Japanese airplane, which is odd from a Japanese developer. Oh, look at that! Got 0 energy, but I still managed to do it. What a goddamn all-American hero! Quite like these little images. There's the burning wreckage in the background. Lovely. Very sensitive to all the people that died in World War II. I'm not even... whatever. I mean, it's not... When have games ever been sensitive, huh? Never. That's when. I'll answer that question for you. Sensitive to real people's lives. Never. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird game when you think about it like that. It's like they have taken the World War II and made it into a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up, where the Japanese people are the baddies. And I guess that is the narrative of World War II. So why hide from it, I guess? But it's a weird choice for a game, though, isn't it? For an entertainment. For a local video game arcade. Anyway, it is a fun game if you ignore the nationalities of the people involved. Maybe that's why it wasn't such a big thing over here, because of the old the connotations there. Don't know. But I never saw this in the arcade, and I never saw... What's a massive strawberry? Oh man, I missed the massive strawberry. And I never saw the 1943 Kai in the arcade either. So, I wonder if it was ever released over here. I think it would have been. I wonder what the massive strawberry did. Oh man, I'd love a massive strawberry. Wasn't an aeroplane going to do a strawberry though? Eh? Don't know. I'd like to have found out. Probably bonus points, wasn't it? You got all the old Capcom, usual Capcom logo stuff in here. Like there was the circle with the 4 triangles stuck on it. That kind of gave me all my energy back on one of the levels, didn't it? What if we got the barrel and the cow in this? Anyway, that's 1943. Pretty decent. Let's have a quick blast on 1943 Kai. I like the way this ship is moving around the screen, very naturally. Just sort of lurching around like a hockey puck on ice. Love it. Love that stuff. Yep, let's go to 1943. And I believe it's called Kai. It's only because I've read that somewhere. Anyway, like I said, the price of this disc is 40 quid. Bit much in it. And that's a bit much. And you'll be able to pick this up easily, to be fair. Oh look, they've got some bombers. And they bomb your aircraft carrier, but it no longer tilts over. Oh, they've ruined the water. The water looks much worse in here. But you've got a biplane instead, like a prehistoric Arnold-style biplane. That's quite cool. I wonder why they changed that. I wonder if they've changed all of the aircraft so they haven't got the Japanese flag on them. Let's have a look. No, oh no, that one has. I thought they would have removed all that, but they didn't. Yeah, so mechanically it works in exactly the same way. You've got the same sort of weapons. So, other than the graphical kind of update, I'm not entirely sure what's different about this game, if anything. Just the bosses are different. Got even bigger aircraft to destroy. You've got funny sort of pink coloured aircraft as well, which is strange. The only thing I don't like about these games is that power-up thing. I hate the fact you have to shoot it to get to the right power-up, or the one that you want. I just picked up a strawberry, what happened? Yeah, I don't like that at all. There's a system. Didn't like it in sidearms, I don't like it in here. So, that's my opinion on that. The water is beautifully animated. It's like a Hokusai wood cut. It's beautiful. We've got a very thin boat here shooting. Yeah, keep throwing on the guys from behind you. Yeah, I never. There might be a weapon that you can pick up that can fire behind you. I don't know. Because the power things are never on screen long enough for you to get them. Oh, it's lasers. Getting much past lasers. Apparently, you got lasers in 1943. Aircraft mounted lasers. So it's historically accurate. Anyway, it might graphically be a little 8-bit looking, but at least it's historically accurate. Look, I've destroyed an aircraft there in the old deck. Oh, that's quite nice. Got some shrapnel coming off the boat there. Okay. It's still a good game. You can get this on the PC Engine. They converted this to the PC Engine. That's a very expensive game these days, the old PC Engine. Don't know what the conversion's like. Again, you can get this on PlayStation. I do recommend this collection. 1942 is an oldie, but I'd still recommend it as a goldie. I do quite like 1942. I like the stripped back nature of it. It's a challenge. 1943 and 1943 Kai, they're pretty decent. They're a bit easier. The power-up system is a little annoying, but it's got music and sound effects, and overall, quite a nice package. So there we go. I like it. I like it a lot. This just seems to have a lot more sprites going on. We've got the anti again on the old spritage. But yeah. There we go. A recommended from me. It's 40 quid. It's getting a little bit on the tasty side in terms of value for money. And like I said, there are better shoot 'em ups out there. But if you were to spend 40 quid on this, I think you'll get some enjoyment out of it. Whether you'll get 40 quid's worth out of it will be down to how much you like kind of basic shoot 'em ups, really. And it is a pretty old school basic shoot 'em up collection. But you knew that coming in. You knew that coming in, so don't complain about it if you buy it and it's not to your liking. That's all I've got to say on it, so I'm going to go now. Alright.